Hello, hello. Welcome to Healthy Perspectives, a podcast that takes on current cultural and social issues through a clinical lens. Hello, hello. All right. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we appreciate your time. And the tip of the day today, since we're just going to get right after it like we often do, design matters. We're going to explore a couple of different things, but let me tell you, I'm not giving you the punchline of what this is really about right from the beginning. So please stick around for a few minutes, listen. It's going to be helpful, I believe, and share this with friends, of course. But human design is relational. People hurt people, people heal people, right? Design matters. Horse design. Horses, cool animals, by the way. Love horses. They have a herd mentality. You're either in or you're out. If you're out, you die alone, right? They stick together for safety. So the herd mentality, that's their design. Bees are awesome. Bees are amazing, really. Their design is hierarchical. Protect the queen. That's their design. They will sacrifice their lives for the queen. They will do whatever it takes to protect, to feed, to nurture the queen. Sexual design, biological and relational. It's both. If you try to treat it like it's one or the other, you get a totally different result, and it's not good. So what happens? One more. Politics. Transactional. Politics are purely transactional. They like to suggest to you that it's emotional. It's not. You talk to any good politician, and when I mean good, I don't mean like high quality morals, but ones who get stuff done, stuff that they want done, those ones are purely transactional. That is the design of politics. What happens if we apply the wrong design to something? I'll give you some examples. The human design. What if we treat the human design as though it's transactional? What you get is things like narcissism. You get dysfunction. It's not good. It goes against the design. Now, relationships can have transactions within them. That's a fact, but they are not transactional in nature. Okay. We're talking about natural design here. We're going to get to that too in a little bit. Sexual design. What if you treated it as if it were only biological? You increase risk of disease, of all kinds of stuff, as well as the entire collapse of civilizations. Why? We've seen it over and over and over again. When we treat sexuality as though it could be just purely biological, it's all about meeting your desires, we end up with major dysfunction, and civilizations have fallen. Maybe it can't be proven that it's purely because of that, but that is a component of every major civilization that has fallen. You see a massive rise of sexual immorality. Okay. What's the point? The point that I'm trying to make here is the following. The economy is not designed to change rapidly. It is designed to be a slow burn, which means if you want to turn an economy around, you can do some things to expedite some sensation. For instance, we saw a very real example when we got these stipends a few years ago. The government issued these stipends. I don't even know exactly what they were. They were, I think they had to do with COVID, right? Or that was what they said. And at the end of the day, did that save the economy? Did it turn it around? What did it do? It put a little bit of money in your pocket, and then it exacerbated the symptom later. Why? Because now there's more money, and what are you going to do? You're either going to save it or spend it or give it away. That's it. That's all you can do with it. So people who had lots of money probably saved it. People who didn't have lots of money probably spent it. And very few people probably gave it away. Here's the analogy I want you to take away. The economy is like a big ship on rough seas. Why? Because there's always a current underneath. There's always something acting upon it. So if you make a change, the ship may toss a little bit and turn a little bit. But if you keep it headed in a true direction, it will eventually balance itself out. You've got this little tiny rudder. In other words, the control we think we have is much less than we actually have. If the seas decide to rage and rage massively, our influence is not as great as we would hope it would be. We could get overtaken in a situation like that. And the turbulent waters are a really important analogy here, because there's a lot of pieces that are beyond our control. No matter how good we are with the economy, there are pieces beyond our control. So without further ado, I am going to show you why this all came about. Remember, I told you I wasn't going to give you the exact punchline right from the beginning, but I am gonna give it to you now. And what's going to happen here? I'm going to show you a couple of clips of a couple of people who truly think you are stupid, number one, or naive. Okay, you're stupid or naive, and they are pretending as though the ship is a car and it could just turn right around. No big deal. Easy peasy. No problem. Okay. I'm going to show you these two clips, and then I'm going to show you how it contradicts the very example of how this actually works. And this is going to be fun because I'm using people of all the same persuasion technically. Okay. So hang tight for those of you who are following along. This is going to be great for me. The first example, those of you who are not following along, you're not going to be able to see this. By following along, I'm talking about those of you on video. So it would be Rumble or YouTube. Okay. That's where I publish my videos. Okay. First clip. You're going to notice right away exactly who this is. No secrets here. We are going to hit play, and I just want you to listen to what is being said here.
So we're in this moment where Donald Trump ran for president saying over and over and over he was going to lower costs for American families. Remember how much he talked about the price of groceries, the price of eggs, right? Gonna lower those costs. And now here we are 3 weeks into the Trump administration, and they say this Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is literally the cop on the beat to make sure that a family doesn't get cheated when they take out a mortgage, that you don't get tricked in the fine print on a car loan, that your credit card doesn't have a bunch of hidden fees in it, that your student loan issuer hasn't scammed you and put you in the wrong program. So this is an agency that literally, over the 13 years it's been out there working, has recovered more than $21 billion that these big financial institutions have cheated people out of, and actually returned the money to the people that they cheated. So what Donald Trump has done, saying he really wanted to lower costs, is he's taken this agency that is the cop on the beat for the cheaters, and when they get caught cheating, makes them give the money back. And he said, cops, step aside, look the other way. We don't care how big the scam is. We don't care who's getting hurt. Just everybody put your pens down, fold your hands, put them in your lap, and let the scams roll on.
Okay, folks. I was contemplating whether I should show the entire clip or not, but I didn't. I wanted to make sure you got it in context. the very beginning, she clarified it's been 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Now, she's trying to make a case that, according to her what she wrote, she said, remember how much Donald Trump campaigned about lowering costs for the American families? Well, instead of lowering costs, he's firing the financial cop. Okay, she's trying to make this case that in 3 weeks, she can tell where he is turning the ship. Problem is, she has no clue. Why? She's not on Donald Trump's team. She has like a really strong hatred for Donald Trump just in general, which I'm not making that up. You can go and read for yourself. She hates the guy. She thinks that he's like the devil or something. That being said, what is he supposed to do in 3 weeks that's going to lower the costs of eggs? All he could do to manufacture the appearance of lowering the cost of eggs is subsidize eggs. He could do that. He could say, look, I'm just going to quietly under here give, I'm going to give, $40 million to the egg industry. And I'm going to say, cut the costs, keep them at $4 per dozen or whatever, right? Cut it in half. And they could turn around and do that. Because why? Because then they could afford to do that. But it would be a myth. It would be a lie. It would be secret. It would be deception. So what's he supposed to do? I mean, the cops are catching what? If let's be real, if what she's saying, and now this is a separate angle, I'm just going to tangent for just a second though. If she's saying the cops, $21 billion in 13 years, do you think they're getting those from freaking eggs? See, she believes that you are either stupid, naive, or both. The economy doesn't work like that. Okay. I'm going to show you another clip of another person who definitely thinks you're stupid, naive, or both. This one is going to be right up on the screen here for those of you following along. Hang tight. I am not going to show you the entire thing, just the first, I don't know, probably 35, 40 seconds, something like that.
Last year, all we heard from my Republican colleagues was the need to do something about the high cost of living, while at the same time they ran away from Project 2025 as if it didn't exist. This year, Republicans have spent all of their time implementing the most extreme parts of Project 2025 and have done nothing to lower the high cost of living. Not a single thing.
Okay. Well, folks, what did you hear? Look, if you're paying attention, what you just heard was he is making a case that in 3 weeks, the economy hasn't turned around, so they failed. That's what he's saying. And he threw in the Project 2025. Like these are all just talking points. So hang with me. We can get into those at a later date if you want to hear my thoughts on those things, like the police that monitor the fraud, waste, and abuse, or the Project 2025. Happy to do it. Happy to do it. I've been reading up on all that stuff anyway. But for the purposes of today, look, the design. Think about the design of the economy. How in the world can these people be standing up 3 weeks in saying it's a failure? It's a failure. They're not doing anything. And not only does he say they're not doing anything, but the things that are being done, he's completely ignoring. He said they've done nothing. And he goes on in that clip to talk about the nothing a lot. And so what I want to do is to show you an example of what those two people remained completely silent about in the past when it benefited them. Okay, so hang tight. I'm gonna show you something, right? For those of you who are following on Rumble and YouTube, you're gonna get to see this. This is an example of nothing being done. Nothing. I'll prove it in just a minute.
For millions of Americans, owning their own home is a big part of the American dream. Because a home is more than a house. It's financial security. It's a symbol of your hard work and the opportunity to build intergenerational wealth. But for too many people, working hard and saving all they can, even for years, does not put homeownership within reach. As president, I will bring down housing costs. I will work with the private sector to cut red tape and build 3 million new homes in my first term. And I will give first-time homebuyers $25,000 in down payment assistance to just help them get their foot in the door. Because every American deserves the opportunity to feel the pride and the security of owning their own home.
Folks, what you just heard was an example of doing nothing. Now, you're like, wait a minute. She was going to offer $25,000. She was going to work with the private sector to lower the costs. Those are not nothing. Okay. If you read the outline, she says, quote, home ownership is out of reach for too many Americans. I will cut housing costs by working with the private sector to cut red tape and build 3 million homes, providing first-time homebuyers a $25,000 in down payment assistance and cracking down on corporate landlords. Okay, right in there, what she is saying, that was her quote leading into that video when on her post. What she's saying is cutting costs is doing something. And why does that contradict what was just said by the Hakeem Jeffries? Because he's saying they're doing nothing. And yet, what have we all been seeing? Cutting costs. Cutting costs is doing something. It's just not handing out free money. But cutting costs absolutely turns the ship. It turns the ship because that's the design. When you cut costs, the ship can move. When you spend $25,000 for a down payment assistance, the ship changes direction again. So cutting costs and then spending those monies doesn't actually change the direction of the ship, which is what Kamala Harris suggested we do. Cut costs and then pass it on in the form of, like, we're going to keep the ship going in the same direction, which would have been inflation and all of that stuff. Folks, here's the takeaways for those of you who are really tracking what's going on here. I'm not an economist, but I know the design. It's big. It's burly. It doesn't turn real fast. That's rule number one. Know the design. Rule number two, work with the design. You have to be looking way long term. Why do you think they carried a compass on ships for all those generations? Now they still carry a compass. It's just a different kind of compass. Why? Because when you're out there and you're getting tossed around, you still have to know where you're going. And you don't change the course until you look at which direction you're headed. You got to know where you're headed and know where you're going. And you got to put those two things together. And it's not super fast and it's not super easy. It takes time for the cost of eggs to come down. Number three, if you don't like the design, change it. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. You changed it by replacing it with a new design. But here's the caveat there. You have to understand what is natural design and what is man-made design. We can change man-made design, but we cannot change natural design. What do I mean by that? Man-made design, politics, the economy, infrastructure, the way your streets are laid out. You could change all of those things. You can't change natural design. Like the triangle is one of the strongest shapes. The circle is stronger than the horizontal. If you're building a bridge and you're not using triangles and arches, your design sucks. Why? Because there's a natural design factor that has to be considered. Now, can you beautify parts of it in different designs? Sure. The parts that don't matter can be beautified to look however you want. But the functional parts, the natural design must be followed. So we can change all but the natural design. So what does that mean? It means the economy will never change really fast. And if it does, it's artificial. It's not real. It just doesn't work like that. There could be small things that change really fast, but the big things just don't. Anybody that's trying to sell you anything other than that, folks, they're lying to you. They think you're stupid and naive, or both. Stupid and naive. Don't be stupid and naive. Simply put, here's the home run pitch. Don't be stupid and naive. Learn how the design of these things matters. Know the difference between natural and artificial design. We can't change the natural design. Matter of fact, we ran into this with the LGBTQ movement over the last few years, 10 years or so. We can try to change the natural design, but you can't. You can't do it, folks. Doesn't matter how bad you want to. But we can change every human design that was created. I hope this helps. So when we're thinking about the economy, when I look, we at Healthy Perspectives, we like to look at the current cultural and social issues to help you navigate the landscape that's around you here and now in real time. That's what this was designed to do. Stay off the economy for about 6 months, folks. You won't know. The ship is still turning. We don't actually know where it's going. Hopefully it's going to go better. We put these people in there because as a country, whether I agree with it or not, as a country, we have decided this is the direction we want to go. Give them a chance. 6 months, we'll have a much clearer picture. Get off this whole emotional bandwagon. Don't be stupid and naive. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for following us, liking us, subscribing, doing all those things. Please share this with somebody who needs it. Ask questions. We like it in the emails and stuff like that. So send us questions. We're always open to that. And we hope you have a wonderful day. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate our audience a lot, so we give you some simple ways to track us down. Please like, subscribe, and follow all the podcasts on different platforms, but you can also email us at healthyperspectives@protonmail.com, or you can check out our website at healthy-perspectives.com/podcast. It's a backward slash. So if you want to go to our landing page, if you go to healthy-perspectives.com, you'll still find us. You just got to click on the podcast button. Thank you so much.